Hello everyone, Amanda here with my favorite scrapper. I am going to do a double page layout today of my daughter getting the honor roll for the first time in kindergarten. I am going to be utilizing this Echo Park paper pack I Love School. It's from 2021. And I'm going to utilize a sketch I found on Pinterest. It is a scrapbook generation sketch. So of course, I'll leave it up in the top as we put this all together. So I'm going to start here with my white American Crafts cardstock as my background. I'm going to cut into this black chalkboard paper that has a bunch of different words on it pertaining to school. I'm going to cut that out according to the sketch for the large photo block on the right hand side. And then for the back of that paper is this cute crisscross stripe that I'm going to use as the striped element within the sketch. So I'm going to cut this out a few times. Once I cut out all the pieces of the striped paper, I'm now going to move over to the left-hand side, and I cut this pencil and eraser paper at 4 inches according to the sketch. That will be housed at the top of the layout. Now I'm going to move to the cut apart sheet, and I want to utilize this 4x6 card as my journaling block. So I'm just going to cut it out and put that to the side for later in the layout. I've gone ahead and inked the edges of all my paper, and now I'm going to work on the right hand side of the layout. I have this large chalkboard paper as our background, so I'm going to place that down about 3 inches from the bottom of the paper according to the sketch. And then I'm going to add a piece of the striped paper to the top and then a piece to the bottom as well. Then I'm going to put down my 2 photos in the center according to the sketch. However, I do feel like they get lost in the background, so I'm going to look in my stash for something to mat them on. So I decided to go with this red piece of cardstock that's in my stash. I'll be using a lot of primary colors as my accent pieces on this layout just because it goes so well with the school collection. So I'm just going to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, I believe, to put the 2 photos on to create a larger photo mat. Once that's completed, I'll put that down in the center of the larger mat chalkboard pattern paper. And then I'm going to use this yellow star cluster that I cut out from a die from Close to My Heart. It's actually a die that's typically used for slimline cards, but I decided to use it here on this layout. I had cut it out in a few colors. I cut it out in red, blue, as well as yellow. And I'm going to use yellow and then fill it in with some of the negatives from the red and blue cutouts that I did. And once I fill it in, I realize that I need another color. So I'm going to look in my stash and bring out green and cut the die again in green and then utilize some of those stars in the empty spaces as well. So here I am just bringing out my Big Shot. I'm going to run through the die one more time just so I could get those stars in green to utilize on the layout. So now that I have the stars cut out, I'm just going to fill in a few of the negative spaces that I have here until all of the stars in this particular cluster are filled in. Once that embellishment cluster is completed, I'm going to move over to the left-hand side of the double page layout and start working on building that page out. So I'm going to start with my striped strip first and line that up so that it matches where it's at on the right-hand page. Just put those together to make sure that everything is even. And then I'm going to pull out that 4x6 card that I had cut out earlier to see which one I want to use for this particular part of the layout. I end up going with the one that has the border that matches the striped strip that we use. I just think it's better for journaling purposes. So I'm going to put that down. I'm going to put down the 4x6 photo as well. And then I'll put down the pattern paper above it with the pencils and then the additional striped piece of paper that goes on top of that. Now I'm going to bring in some additional scraps. These are going to be for the banner pieces that are under the 2 photos that go on top. So here I have these 2 4x4 photos that I'm going to put down, and then I'm just going to line that blue strip on top of it, and then I'm going to cut out another strip that will go up there as well in green. So I'm going to fishtail this banner strip as well, similar to how I did the blue. And these 2 are really going to be my anchor pieces for the 2 photos up at the top of the left-hand page. Because I have so many of these stars left over from the die cut on the right-hand page, I'm going to utilize some of them as embellishments on the left-hand page just to add some continuity between the 2 pages. I do pop up the 2 red stars on foam just to give the page some dimension, and I add some of the yellow stars to the blue and green banner strips there at the top. Then I'm going to look at the sticker sheet to see what other embellishments I want to bring in for the layout. I picked this file folder tab that says memories, and I do have this 3x4 photo that I want to use down here as well. I'm going to end up covering up that cup with pens in it because it's not really relevant, and then utilize the other side of that 4x6 card for my journaling. I do have a 2x2 photo as well, but that's not going to end up making the layout. I pulled this A+ ribbon off of the sticker sheet. I'm going to pop that up on some foam tape and put that down at the bottom as well. Now I'm going to continue to look at the sticker sheet and other embellishments that I have that go with this collection. I'm pulled out the 2x2 squares that we had cut off when we cut off the 4x6 paper. And here I am. I'm going to use some of the frames from the chipboard frame 6x12 sheet. I'm going to cut some banners out of some scraps that I have here on my desk from the blue and the red and the green, and make 3 banners up at the top, and then add this chipboard sentiment on top of it. To get the chipboard piece adhered, I do use a wet glue as opposed to my ATG gun. So I'm going to get my banner strips down, and then I will cut off the excess. So here I am cutting off the excess, and then now I'm going to glue down that chipboard piece. Now I'm going to look at the embellishments I have again to see what else I can put around this page. Most of it is done, so now it's really just about adding some extra pieces. So I'm going to pop out some pieces here from the chipboard frames. There's a lunchbox, a calculator, some glue, some scissors, and I'm just going to scatter them around the page. I picked this large pencil that's going to go underneath the chipboard with the sentiment on it. I pick out this apple with an A+ on it. And now I'm just auditioning these other pieces around the page to see where I want them to go. Once I settle on it, I'm going to take out my wet glue and adhere everything down so that it's secure. Now I've added my journaling to that spot next to the 3x4 photo. And now I'm adding the final touches of enamel dots around the page. I'm really proud of myself for being able to finally get this layout completed. My daughter's in 1st grade now, and this was from last year. So I'm really proud of myself. I love the way that this came out. I hope that you are able to do something creative to make yourself proud today as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.